Hello and welcome back to Closed Circuit Sports. I'm Drew Goldman, and this is my first time genuinely talking to you in this kind of format. Um, would I do it again? Would I do it again? That's all I just want to talk about right now. In my second calendar year of racing 206 owner karts at Whiteland Raceway Park here in Indiana, and I love it. I wouldn't trade it. But the realities of finances and racing are such that you have to make every dollar count. I think I did it the wrong way in hindsight. But with the information that I had at the time, I don't think I made any of the wrong calls. I bought from a dealer who were a team, and they were a small team, and they were going to be people I could work with for my first season and learn a lot from. And both of them got promotions in that off season, and neither of them were able to fulfill what they were talking about with me being a part of their program in any meaningful way. So I ended up making my way over to the new gen garage by round 4, 5-ish of last season. And they helped me save my year. Granted, I did get my first and only Indy Karting Challenge podium in round 2 of last season while I was still in that CW garage. But that podium was luck, unfortunately. It was a very small field that day. I don't want to say how small, but it was a torrential downpour. And the setup from the week before was left on it. I didn't change a thing. Might have been 2 weeks. Might have been 1 weekend off and the next weekend it was on. And everything went perfect. I don't know how it went perfect, but it did. In the heat race, I was like right behind Braden. And I still want to find that in the dry. I know that I'm a threat any day that it rains because anything can happen when it rains, especially in go-karts. What I will say is 206 is way more than people give it credit for, and it is everything that people say they hate about it as well. The standards are rough because there isn't much momentum to play with. And so when you play rough, you pay for it pretty heavily. So if you start fighting for 5th, both you, the guy next to you, and everybody behind you are losing their opportunity to fight for the win. You all have to work together to get where you're trying to go initially. And then you're all there, and then you can fight, honestly. But it sucks to see so many people playing the game selfishly too early. Too early. There are so many racers in 206 particularly who are fighting over nothing on lap 3. And it's like, no, he's faster. Let him go. Chase him. Chase him. Don't fight to keep him behind you and lose them. Chase. Catch. Then we run away from everybody behind us. So there are lessons about racecraft that I have been learning at breakneck pace from the 2 street races that I've had the opportunity to compete in at the Anderson Grand Prix last year, and the Anderson Grand Prix was the Mayor's Cup, and the Elkhart Grand Prix was the Riverwalk Grand Prix, and those were both wicked events. And unfortunately, I did not get a finishing position in either of them. The good news is I have yet to DNF in an Indy Karting Challenge race. I'm knocking on all of the wood available to me. I have another one this weekend. This will be my 6th round in the new gen kart in 206, and I have very little to complain about. Is it the newest chassis? No. Are they giving me a crazy deal? Yes. Are they giving me thorough support? No doubt. Even more than last year, because they know what they're doing with their kart and they want their kart to represent them well. They do not want me out there making their kart look slow. And I appreciate that, which is why I have to say, before I even drop round 5 as a video, I'm not proud of my performance. I was in pain. I had a back injury. That's the only way I can describe it. Right on the edge of the cart, right about where probably 8 or 10 inches below where this seat's back is, I had what I can only describe as unceasing back spasms. I had a contracting muscle that I could not get to release no matter how I stretched, no matter how I flexed it, no matter how I strained it, no matter how I leaned into it, no matter how I leaned against it. And it definitely felt muscular. It was between my shoulder blade and the spinal column. It was a kind of cramp that I have never experienced before and could not get to unlock. That's probably because I ran both classes that were available to me that day, because Blue Shot came and visited, which was great. It was great to see artists. It was great to get to meet Richards and to get to, oh shoot, I feel so bad right now. Yoris. Ha, got it. The media guy was named Yoris. The test driver was named Richards. Artist is the owner. Michelle, the new president of Blue Shock Racing in the United States, at least. She was great. She represented it well. Getting to see the Richardsons again, Yamori and Ramsey, and Mrs. Richardson as well. I don't know her first name off the top of my head, but all these people who make the American Electric Karting Championship something special. And it is. It has its own technology. It's really tiny Formula E. The more and more I think about it, Formula E really is just extra large Blue Shock. Like, it's a terrifying little machine. Wicked torque, heavy power supply. So you do kind of have to drive it light-handed. I was failing to do so because I was trying to test the limits of the thing, which was great during practice. And then even during qualifying, it was great. It got bad. Okay, because this injury actually started weeks ago. I am not as baby as I look. I am older than I look. I'll leave it at that for right now. And I just had a birthday that made me feel real old. I ain't gonna lie. But I was just trying to crack my back. The little thing where you hold your knee, you pop this way, and you hold your knee, and you pop that way. And I went this way, and it didn't go. And it hurt. And I went, oh no. This was before round 5. Yes, the week before round 5. And then I raced on it. And I did both classes. And I did the 2 days of practice because I did 1 day in 206 right after work, as I do, because I am a grown up and I work full time after work. I get to race with the money that I save up by being less fun the other days of the week. And it was really hard to work through the stupid injury that I had picked up doing something like cracking my knuckles. It's like dislocating your finger, cracking your knuckles. It was like the stupidest way to pick up a serious injury. And I couldn't get it to relax. I go to practice 206 on Thursday after work. I go and practice Blue Shock on Friday after work. No, we were celebrating 4th of July that weekend. I was off all day Friday, and I got to do the all-day practice in the Blue Shock. That's right. They gave me a wicked deal. I've never gotten a team type of offer like that. They were coming to Whiteland, which is now my home track, after they were the event that I went to Whiteland for the first time. Daytona Blue Shock was the first event, pro karting event, that I enrolled in, signed up for, however you want to call it. And then I started to panic because I had ran about a season at that point, would be a season by the end of it, of K1 GP, the adult GP. But everybody over 18 is in that bracket. And that means when you start out, you're racing with people you're as fast as, and by the end of it, you're racing with people you're as fast as because you just work your way through the field. And no one wins on debut if it's your true debut in an adult class. Even in juniors, it's really hard to do that. So, I got a podium in the A at the end of the season, right before getting to go to Daytona to race that Blue Shock X4, which was 35 something horsepower, rear brakes only. We were running on the Vega tire, and it was a Burrell RY32 chassis, and it was exactly as heavy as it is now. It was like 460 with me in it, which is heavier than a shifter cart by about 60 pounds. But it had the torque to compete with X30 minimum and possibly shifter carts because there's no shifting. It's all torque. It's not, there's no wasted horsepower. There's no traction control though, so it's still training your throttle pedal. There are aspects of that class that I really do thoroughly enjoy. I wish I got to do more in it because that Daytona event, I raced very conservative. And this event, I had to do what I could because I got outclassed by the machinery. I think it's the best way to put it. I was squealing those tires everywhere, in and out of corners. And I knew I was overdriving it, and I didn't want to stop. That's so interesting to notice now. Okay. Well, I was trying to find the limit, and then I realized that I had gone past the limit, and then I was trying to dial it back, but at that point, the damage was already done. It was the end of the day on Friday, and I couldn't do another session without making my back worse. And then the next day was Saturday, and boy, I have a lot of people to thank. Luke and Liam from New Gen made my 206 day possible. I did not have enough hands to do all of the things that I needed to do on Saturday. I gave Liam heads up that was what my day was going to look like, that I was going to be playing hopscotch back and forth. But at a certain point, I think it was after qualifying, I realized this is silly what I'm doing right now. I should probably just move my car back and forth and make sure that it is where it needs to be. Thank you to Richards for moving the cart. I know he did. Thank you to Artis for moving my cart. I know he did. All of these people were there to help me lift the cart back onto the stand and off of the stand. Sometimes they even did it for me when two of them were available. I really appreciate the teams that I've been able to work with in karting because you can't do it all by yourself. You can't change your own gearings and tire pressures if you're running two different carts. You can't repair everything that gets broken when there's such little things that can get broken. You can't always have a spare Micron battery. Sometimes you gotta ask somebody else for one and they have to have one that's charged. There are so many good folks moments in racing that it is worth it. It is worth it, even when you can't compete the way that you want to compete. Because, man, I gotta learn something about pacing if I'm not gonna go and train endurance. Honest to God, because I hate running. I hate running. But I love driving. And I don't know why. Driving a go-kart still takes a lot out of you if you do it right. But not as much as it takes out of me. It's not supposed to take as much out of you as it takes out of me. I'm not in bad shape. I'm gonna say that up front. I'm a former retired, however you want to call it, suspended, whatever you want to call it. We'll see whether any of this comes back to me. I don't want to see it. I hope we stay with racing, but who knows what'll happen if it doesn't work out. I'm a Taekwondo instructor, 3rd-degree black belt. I'm a wrestler, folk style, American folk style. Only a year, only JV, but I'm still better than you. Probably. And after that, I got really into paintball. During the time that I was involved in paintball and wrestling, those were both actually pretty simultaneous. Like sophomore year of high school through sophomore year of college. I got to play tournament paintball in 3-man and 5-man events all across Indiana and even a little bit in other states too. I got to play in a tournament at Chicago. I got to play, that was CPX Sports back then. We practiced at Proving Grounds Paintball. I was part of that program. I started at White River Park, White River Paintball. I almost crossed up Whiteland Raceway Park and White River Paintball, but that's actually an interesting little crossover there. Rec ball at White River, Paintballplex, Fort Wayne for my first real speedball day. Got in with the Proving Grounds guys. Played there for a year or two. Paintball Barn and Field of Dreams and Paintball Asylum in Louisville and a bunch of good fields with a bunch of good teams. Got to play with a bunch of good guys as part of the Proving Grounds camp. And then when that field shut down, because we didn't pay Manny enough to keep that field open, we really didn't. He was so nice to us. He was too nice to us. We had to go and spend some money and drive a long way to go and play at the paintballplex up here, where I am for work right now. 10 years later in Fort Wayne. 10+ years later in Fort Wayne. I don't have a problem with this city. I just wish that I was still here to play paintball. I'm here to do land survey. Weird little crossover. Good man by the name of John Going is a guy who gave me a ride to and from one of those practices. We both played for that team. And from the Proving Grounds camp, made our way over to there. And he drove me to practice one day, came and picked me up so that I could go. I don't even know where he stayed. Guy significantly older than me, but he was on my team, and we were all talking about carpooling and how are we going to get everybody there and who's got what. And I was like, I got gas money. Who's got me? And, yep. And John is a land surveyor who told me about the gig when I was a junior or senior in high school. And I remember driving back from Fort Wayne so that I could make it to church on time on Sunday evening because it was a Sunday practice. And it started real early, but he was going to have to go home early, and so was I. So it all worked out. And he told me about survey. And I remember us singing on the car ride home. Anyway, it's crazy that I ended up in that industry. I am coming up on 4 years in this industry as a surveyor, land surveyor, not a asking you questions surveyor. I'm asking the ground questions. Um, I'm asking the trees questions. I'm asking my computer questions every day that I'm in the woods trying to get a fucking signal. Excuse me. Circle back, circle back, circle back. And this is fun. I should do this more often. Paintball taught me a lot of racing lessons before I ever thought that I could go racing. Lessons about personal finance, lessons about microeconomics, not macroeconomics, about opportunity cost. If you do this, then you don't get to do that. And about standing up for something that you think is seriously real and seriously good and seriously cool. And getting to preach about it too. I love proselytizing about tournament paintball. Telling people about tournament paintball is one of my favorite things to this day because people don't know it exists and they should. It's awesome. It's one of the coolest sports in the world. And I don't know how more people don't know about it. Still, to this day. Now, I don't know why. I do know why it hasn't made it. There are structural issues with a gun sport making it mainstream. It's supposed to be an extreme sport, in my opinion. It's supposed to be a niche sport, in my opinion. Problem is, I like it. I like it a lot. That's what racing is supposed to be, too. I think racing has gone too mainstream, and we can talk about that more another time. But right now, I'm just apologizing for the fact that I came last in that race in 206, and I came damn near last in that Blue Shock race when it came down to it in the final because I let myself get run off the track in the Blue Shock race. He apologized, which was nice of him, but I knew that I made a mistake by allowing him coming up the inside to push me completely off of my line without us even making contact. I should have fought to stay on the damn pavement because I knew that grass was going to mean spinning, and it did. And I was beached, and I needed help, and then I was lapped. But once you're lapped, staying with the pack is good. I set my fastest laps of the race and my fastest laps of the day in the final, which is something worth being proud of. However, I'm going to have to talk more about this another time, or at least cut for now. I'm Drew Goldman. This is Closed Circuit Sports. Peace.